Hello friends, welcome to my another lecture in this particular series of divide and conquer. So the current type of algorithms that we are discussing are divide and conquer algorithms, and we are discussing about which are all the problems that can be solved by divide and conquer technique. So previous to this, you might have went through my videos on binary search and merge sort and quick sort. So today we will discuss another algorithm which is called as DC max-min algorithm. So it is divide and conquer max-min algorithm, which is one of the divide and conquer algorithm. It is also very much famous, and this particular algorithm is being used at various locations for finding out the maximum and minimum. The concept, in order to understand this problem, is to be discussed for understanding what is the concept of divide and conquer. So it is very good algorithm to do that also. So let us move ahead and let us try to discuss what is the problem definition. So problem definition over here is, I have given an array, let us say of size n, and in this particular array there are different values stored. So the array can be sorted or unsorted. Now as in case of binary search, we require a sorted array, but here the array can be either sorted or unsorted. It does not matter. Only the thing is that we have given an array of size n, and from this n-sized array we want to find out which is the maximum value and which is the minimum value. So just finding out a maximum we all know, just finding out a minimum we all know. So we can try out our iterative program, which is brute force program, and we can find out maximum number from an array separately, and we can also find out the minimum value from the array separately. And what we can do is, if you want to find out both maximum and minimum from a given array at that time, we can combine both the codes in a single program. Okay, so let us consider another simple problem that can be solved by using divide and conquer technique. The problem is to find out maximum value and the minimum value. So let us first discuss a straightforward method which we have which you might have used till now, and which is not a divide and conquer methodology, it is a brute force methodology. So this is one of the algorithm. I am saying that this is a straightforward max-min algorithm, and what do we do is, when an array is given, for finding out the maximum, what we do is we consider the first element as a maximum, and then we go on comparing this element with the other indices. So from I is equal to 2 to n, let us say, and if we find anything a of j, if it is greater than max, then we assign max is equal to a of j, and then we again continue until we reach n. So in this way we can find out the maximum number as well as we can find out the minimum number. So for that purpose, what do we do is, instead of initializing the first value to max, we initialize it to min, and then when we initialize it to min, at that time what we do is, for any j between 1 to n, if it is less than min, at that time I will assign this value to min. Okay, so something like this. These are the two different, you can write two different programs for this, but we are here in this particular code we are combining both of them. So what we are doing is, max is equal to min is equal to a of 1, then for I is equal to 2 to n, what do we do is, if a of I is greater than max, that is this code, a of j, instead of I it is j over here, then max is equal to a of I, and if a of I is less than min, in that case min is equal to a of I. So at the end, when whichever function or program is calling this function, over there you can print the values max and min, or otherwise here you can print what is max and what is min, So that can also be done over here. So this is how we find out the maximum and minimum in the straightforward way. Next thing is that, what is the complexity of the algorithm? What is the complexity of this particular algorithm? So if you will see here, at that time, over here, this particular code is going to be executed for once. Then for I is equal to 2 to n, it means that this is going to be executed for n plus 1 minus 1, because it is 2 to n, so minus 1. If it is 1 to n, in that case it will be n plus 1. So this comes to be n. So this comes to be n. Again the control is going to come here, and n times this condition is going to be compared. So that is n times. And this is going to happen whenever this condition is true. This is going to happen whenever this particular condition is true. Similarly, this is going to execute it for n times. So if we'll see this one, so it comes to be n plus n is 2n plus n, 3n plus 1. 3n plus 1 is the time complexity without considering these assignments, So if I assume that the given element is sorted in ascending order, let us say, at that time, so first element will be considered as a max and it will be compared with every other element, and then this assignment is going to happen for n times. Whereas here, for ascending order, this comparison will fail always, because the smallest element will be at the first position only and this will remain n. So the total number of instructions that execute over here is 4n plus 1. If we'll consider only the comparisons, let us forget about this for loop. Okay, if we'll consider only the comparisons, at that time this is n comparisons and this is n comparisons. Let us again forget about this max is equal to min and all this. So only comparisons if we'll compare, at that time we find that this is 2n. So 2n number of comparisons are done. Only comparisons. All the instructions is, considering all the instruction is 4n plus 1. So if you have 100 elements, it will this whole complete program will require 401 instructions to be executed, whereas there will be 200 comparisons. So sometimes the complexity of the program is also evaluated based on how many comparisons are done. Okay, over here there are 200 comparisons are done. Okay, so if you will see here, it will be number of comparisons will be 2n minus 2, or it will be 200, let us say. So the complexity is this one. As I told, this one, this is in the ascending order. This is in the ascending order. If it is in the descending order, then this instructions will be executed for n times. These assignments will happen for n times, and this will happen, only this comparison will happen for n times. Okay, so based on that, this will happen. So let me first clear this one once again. So let us clear this whole thing. Then another thing is that, so over here another thing we can observe is, can we let us say make it better? Can we minimize the number of comparisons? Can we make it better? So we can make it better. So let us say if by some means if this becomes true at the time, so that will be greater than max, and that will not be a min. So for that purpose, what we can do is we can add a else condition here, so that if this becomes true, this will not be, these comparisons will not be done. Or if does not become true, then at that time this comparison will be done. So at least for the best case, at least for, let us say, in the descending order or in the ascending order. Okay, if the array is in the ascending order, this instructions will be always executed, this will not be executed, and this comparison will also not be done. So that modification I am presenting in front of you over here. So here, if you can see this one, so if a of I is greater than max, if this condition is at all true, at the time only this will happen, this will not happen. But if this condition is not true, at the time both of these if conditions are going to be true. So what is the best case? Best case is, let us say, if my array is in the, let us say, descending order and maximum value is present here. Maximum value, that is 20 is 25, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 20 is present here. So what will happen is, if I is greater than, sorry, this is not in the ascending order, we have to consider this in the descending order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 20. So first element will be considered as max, and then it will be compared with second element. Second element is greater than max. So max is equal to 2 now, and max is equal to 2, and min, since this condition is true, else part will not execute. So in this case, how many comparison will happen is n minus 1 comparison will happen in the best case. This is the best case. In the worst case, let us say if the input is in the descending order, so if it is 25, 4, 3, 2, 1. So in that case, 20 will be taken as a max, and 5 is not greater than 20, so this will come. So this comparison will happen as well as this comparison will happen. In the worst case, both the comparisons will happen for n times. So in that case, the worst case is 2n plus 1. And on an average, if we find that some elements will be less than the maximum, and some element will be greater than the max. So if we consider 50% of the elements are less than max and 50% are elements are greater than max, in that case, so for example, the first position element and remaining are, out of the remaining 50% are less than max and 50% are greater than max, in that case 3n by 2 minus 1 number of comparison will be happening in the average case. Okay, so this is the straightforward method. Then if you want to solve this particular problem by using a divide and conquer solution. And if you want to solve this one, so at that time, whenever this particular problem is given to us, we will divide this problem into smaller sub problem. So what is the small problem? So that it can be directly solved. What is the small problem? So that that particular problem can be directly solved. Okay. So assume that your array has only one element. Assume that your array has only one element. So in that case, max is equal to min is equal to that value. Max is equal to min is equal to a of 1, because there is only one value in your array. If you have two values in your array, at the time what you have to do is you have to compare the first element with the second element, and let us say if a of 1 is less than a of 2, so in that case if a of 1 is less than a of 2, in that case max is equal to a of 2, min is equal to a of 1. Otherwise, else max is equal to a of 1, min is equal to a of max is equal to a of 2, sorry, a of 1, and min is equal to a of 2. So it is again small. This is again small. You can directly solve. And if it is greater than 2, you just divide into smaller parts. You just, for example, if you have 4 elements, 4, 2, 9, 5, at the time divide this into 2 smaller parts. So this will be 2 elements, and over here what you can do is you can find out here that max is equal to 4 and min is equal to 2, whereas here max is equal to 9 and min is equal to 5. And then meanwhile, while finding out the solution of this complete problem, we can compare the left hand side max with right hand side max. Whichever is max will become the final max. So max will be 9 here, and the minimum at the 2 solutions that we are getting, so max will become the smaller one out of this. So this is the way that I am going to use in a divide and conquer. So first, whatever the array is there given, we will divide it into smaller sub arrays, and then we will try to solve the problem. So moving ahead, so let us say if this is the array, this is an array of size 9, let us say. So what I do is I divide this array into 2 halves, that is from 1 to 5 by using the middle. So mid is equal to 1 plus 9 divided by 2. So that comes to be 10 by 2, that is 5. So that's the reason that 1 to mid and mid plus 1 to high. Again 1 to, so this is the problem now. Now the 1 to 5 is the problem size. This is not neither 1 nor 2. So I can again divide it into 2 parts, that is 1 plus 5 divided by 2. It becomes 1 to 3 and 4 to 5. Over here if you will see 4 to 5, if you will see, you will find that there are only two elements. There are only 2 elements, and what you can do is you can find out. So this expansion is not necessary here. Even though I have tried to expand it, this expansion is not here necessary here. So what you can do is here you can make the comparisons whether a of 4 is greater than a of 5. If it is true, then max is equal to a of 4 and min is equal to a of 5. Otherwise, you can reverse it. Okay. So 6 to 9, again 6 to 7 and 8 to 9. So 6 to 7 directly it can be done. So this distribution is again not necessary. I want to show you that this is again necessary where if you find there are more than 2 values. So now here there are 3 values. So this array of size 3 will be divided into 2 sub arrays of one of size 2 and one of size 1. So whenever it is of size 2, again it is not necessary to identify, divide it into a single one. And since here it is a single element from 3 to 3, the index is, lower index is 3, higher index is 3. So this array this sub problem contains problem size is equal to 2, this is 1, this is 2, this is 2, and this is 2. We have to solve all these sub problems. So in between 1 and 2, what is the max? So let us say the first one is max. First variable is max and second variable is min. So out of 1 and 2, maximum is 22. I will put it here 22, and minimum is 13. Over here 3 to 3. So maximum is minus 5, minimum is minus 5 because there is only one element. So again we compare maximum with maximum, it becomes 22 over here, and minimum with minimum, it becomes minus 5 here. Similarly over here 4 to 5. So if you will see 4 to 5, maximum is 15 and minimum is 8. So maximum is 15 and minimum is minus 8. From 6 to 7 it is 60, 17. From 8 to 9 it is 31, it is 47, 31. Again, if you compare these two, max 60 and 47, it comes to be 60. 17 and 31, it comes to be 17. Whereas this side, 22 and 20, 22 and 15 is, so maximum is 22 here. Minus 5 and minus 8, so minimum is minus 8. 22 and 60, so maximum comes to be 60 here, and minus 8 and minus 17, so minimum is minus 8. So that is being done over here. You can see here. So these are not necessary to be divided. Directly you can find out the solution here only. Okay, and then you can go on combining the results. So first is we have to divide it into smaller halves, and then if the problem size is either 2 or 1, we have to solve that problem and go on returning the variables. Okay, so this is the algorithm, and this is, you can see the average number of comparisons are here. You can find out it is 2 into n minus 1, and this is in case of straightforward. Okay, and average is 3n by 2 minus 1, and now what we will do is we will call another function which is DC maxmin. Now this is straightforward maxmin. We will go with the DC maxmin. So this is divide and conquer maxmin algorithm, wherein we are going to divide the algorithm into smaller subparts. So here what we will be doing. So this is the algorithm maxmin. This is I is a low index, J is a high index, as we have considered in the previous one. Max is a maximum value and min is a minimum value in this particular index from I to J. A of 1n, this is 1 to n, is a global array, and parameters I and j are integers. Then I is less than j, so I is a lower index, j is a higher index, and I can be greater than or equal to 1 and j can be less than or equal to n. The effect is to set maximum and minimum to the largest and smallest values in the indices, in between the indices I to j respectively. So now here if I is equal to j, it means that problem size is 1 and max is equal to min is equal to a of I. That is, this is a small p. Another small p case is if I is equal to j minus 1, that is, let us say if I have two values in my array, and if this is index number 5 and this is index number 6, and if I am solving this particular problem, over here what I find is I is equal to 6 minus 1, that is j minus 1. So if this happens, again this is another case of small p, wherein there are two elements, and in that case what we have to do is, if a of I is less than a of j, then maximum is equal to a of j and minimum is equal to a of I. Otherwise maximum is equal to a of I and minimum is equal to a of j. Otherwise, if either this is not true and this is not true, that means that we have more than two elements in the array. In that case what we have to do is, we have to just divide the array into two parts, equal parts, nearly equal parts. So what if p is not small, divide p into subproblems, find where to split the set. Find where to split the set is mid is equal to, split the set at the middle, that is equal to I plus j, low plus high divided by 2. Then solve the two different subproblems, that is DC. So this is not DC, this is max min. So it is max min I to mid. First solve a problem from I to mid and identify max and min from this, and solve another problem from mid plus 1 to j, that is high, and get max 1 and min 1 from this. So from left hand side solution we are going to get max and min. From right hand side solution we are going to get max 1 and min 1. So, and then later on we are going to compare this max and max 1, whichever is the larger will be the final larger max, and whichever is the smaller will become the final min. So I am getting two variables, two values returned from here. So while combining the solution, what I am doing, if max is less than max 1, then max is equal to max 1. And if max is greater than max 1, then there is no need to transfer, max will remain max as it is. And if min is greater than min 1, then min is equal to min 1. Otherwise, in other case, if this condition is not true, then transferring this value is not necessary. Okay, so this is how this particular algorithm works. Now if we will try to analyze this particular algorithm for its time complexity, I will clear it. For its time complexity, what do you find is, over here, now I just want to compare how many number of comparisons are required. Over here, 0 comparisons are required. Over here, one comparison is required. Over here, 2 comparisons are required. Okay, and over here, so it is like we are dividing the problem into two halves. We are dividing the problem into two halves. You can see here equal parts. A problem of size n is divided into two halves, and two comparisons are done here again. Here two comparisons are done. These two comparisons. So time complexity of this particular algorithm is it requires zero over here. I am sorry, I told here 1, but it requires zero number of comparisons. Okay, and it requires one comparison, that is here if and else. For another small p, only one if is there and only one comparison is required over here. So what you find here is if a problem is divided into if a problem size is 2, at the time we require one comparison. If the problem size is 1, at the time we require 0 comparisons, and otherwise we divide the problem into two halves. So it is nearly 2 into t of n by 2 plus 2 is these two comparisons. These two comparisons are calculated over here. Otherwise we are dividing into two halves. First of all, we are dividing into two halves, we are getting the result, and we are doing these two comparisons. Okay, so this all thing is considered. So for that, when n is a power of 2, so if we consider n is equal to power of 2, at the time n is equal to 2k. This we have done in the binary case, binary search also, as well as in the merge sort, as well as in the quick sort also. So generally, in order to get the correct result, we consider n is equal to 2k. It will not be a case that always n will be equal to 2k, but if we consider n is equal to 2k, we can get a better analysis of the algorithm, time complexity of the algorithm. Then t of n is equal to 2t plus 2t of n by 2 divided by 2, the same equation that I have written here. And if we try to solve it, what we get is 2 into 2t. So putting n is equal to n by 2 in this equation, what we will get is, so this 2 is as it is, and it becomes 2t n by 4 plus 2 plus 2. This 2 as it is, and when I expand this t of n by 2, at the time I get 2t n by 4 plus 2. So that comes to be 4t n by 4 plus 4 plus 2. If I do it once again, what I am going to get is, I am going to get here 8t n by 8 plus 8 plus 4 plus 2. So if I do it for k times, so it will be, you can see here, if I do it for k minus 1 times now, so if I do it for first time, at the time it is, I will rewrite this one, at that time it is 2 raised to 1 into t of n by 2 raised to 1 plus summation of 2 raised, so it is 2 raised to 1, it is not summation of 2 raised to 1, but it is just 2 raised to 1. If I expand this one, what I get is, I get 2 raised to 2 into t of n by 2 raised to 2 plus summation of 2 raised to I from I is equal to 1 to 2. So 2 raised to 1 is 2 plus 2 raised to 2 is 4. If I do it for third time, what I get is here, I will rewrite this equation here. So it becomes 2 raised to 3 into t of n by 2 raised to 3 plus 2 raised to 3 plus 2 raised to 2 plus 2 raised to 1, and that is only this part I am writing. This is summation of 2 raised to I from I is equal to 1 to 3. Previously it is 2. If I do it for k minus 1 times, previously we have done it for k times, but now I am intentionally doing it for k minus 1 times, and I will be telling you what is the reason behind that. If I do it for k minus 1 times, the equation I get is, as here it is 2 raised to 2, so k minus 1 times means it will be 2 raised to k minus 1 into t of 2, because t of 2 is 1. I know that t of 2 is 1 and t of 1 is 0. If I take a 0 here, at the time 0 multiplied by anything will be 0, and it will not be possible to analyze. So for that purpose I am doing it for k minus 1 times. And if I do it for k minus 1 times, you may ask, how does this become 2? So how does this become 2 is, if I put n is equal to, let us say, over here, so this value has become, let us say, t of n by some value, n by 2 raised to k minus 1. If I do it for n minus k to 2 raised to k minus 1, at the time this denominator will be 2 raised to k minus 1. And what I want is, I want to make this whole value is equal to 2, so that I can get t of 2. So that is the reason that I am taking doing it for 2k raised to k minus 1, and then due to that it becomes 2 raised to k plus 1, k minus 1 t of 2 plus, this is summation from I to k minus 1 actually it is. Okay, so finally what we get is t of 2 is 1, so 2 raised to k minus 1 into 1 is 2 raised to k minus 1, and this whole comes to be 2 raised to k minus 2. So if you put this in terms of n, what we get is, it is 3n by 2 minus 2. So the divide and conquer algorithm has the number of comparisons is 3n by 2 minus 2. And if we will compare this one with the straightforward algorithm, where the required time complexity is 2 into n minus 1, and here it is 3n by 2 minus 2. So if n is equal to 10, so this comes to be 18 and this comes to be 13. If n is equal to 50, it is 98. So this is nearly, I will say 100. This is nearly 75. This is nearly 200, and this is nearly 150. Similarly here this is nearly 2000, and this is nearly 1500. So what we can say for any I, what I am saying is whenever it is 100, it is taking only 75 comparisons. That is, I am saying 25% of my comparisons. So what we are doing is, we are saving our 25% of comparisons. So divide and conquer algorithm, maximum finding algorithm saves your 25% time as compared to the straightforward maximum algorithm. So it is 25% amount of time is saved. So friends, with this we can conclude that divide and conquer algorithm is performing better than the straightforward algorithm, which is a brute force algorithm. Okay, it is a brute force algorithm. So with this, let us stop in this particular lecture. I am very much thankful to you all for seeing the lecture up to the end, and I am stopping here with this particular problem. In my next lecture, I will take another problem that is called as selection problem. This is another divide and conquer problem, and this problem is called as selection algorithm. It is not selection sort, but it is selection algorithm, wherein my intention is to find out the kth largest element in a given array. We can find out the largest, we can find out the smallest, but kth largest. Okay, so we will discuss one D and C algorithm, and the concept over here is going to run behind the quicksort algorithm. So whatever the concept of quicksort algorithm is there, the same concept I am going to use to find out the kth smallest element, or kth smallest or kth largest element. Thank you for attending this particular lecture.